Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're placing clinical psychology, specifically hypnosis, right alongside, well, ancient mystical traditions. Things like ceremonial and chaos magic.
Yeah, we're really stripping away let's call them cultural costumes, trying to find the universal machinery underneath, the internal mechanism for, personal transformation.
It's a fascinating premise, the idea that whether you're using hypnotic suggestion or doing a spell or even just focused manifestation work, you're actually engaging with the very same architecture inside your own mind.
Absolutely. Our source material puts it quite directly. It suggests hypnosis and magic are basically two expressions of the same human capacity.
Capacity for what, exactly?
For deliberately inducing altered states of consciousness, to make changes happen.
Okay, so it's about directed will, like Crowley's famous definition of magic, the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will.
Precisely. And hypnosis, well, it gets there through focused attention, heightened suggestibility. On the surface, they look different, right? Candles versus a comfy couch, maybe.
Yeah, one seems mystical, the other clinical.
But the inner process, the claim is it's identical.
But here's the snag, isn't it? The thing that tricks people up, whether they're seeing a therapist or, I don't know, working at a home altar.
Exactly. It's what the sources call unconscious skepticism. This is the critical point.
So the conscious mind wants one thing. Maybe quit smoking, maybe attract abundance.
Right. You set the goal consciously. But then you've got years, maybe decades of programming running in the background. Materialist thinking, limiting beliefs.
And that programming just whispers doubt constantly.
You could be saying the most potent affirmation, performing the most complex ritual. But deep down, a part of your mind is going, nope, not possible. Or, I don't deserve this.
And that deep-seated doubt, that lack of real conviction, it wins out.
It almost always wins. The conscious intention gets completely overridden. So this deep dive, it's really about tackling that conflict head on.
How do we do that?
We need to show you how to align the three essential aspects of the mind, the conscious, the subconscious, and what's termed the superconscious. Get them all pulling in the same direction.
Okay, alignment. That sounds key. To achieve that sort of total transformative conviction, the kind that bypasses the inner critic.
Exactly. And to do that, we have to start with the engine room, so to speak.
Which is?
The subconscious mind. This is the true engine of magical manifestation, as one source puts it.
Right. It doesn't think logically. It just accepts.
It accepts impressions. Positive, negative, doesn't matter to it. And then it works relentlessly to make whatever it believes to be true actually happen in your reality.
Yeah.
It shapes your perception, your behavior automatically.
So many people approach change like it's just mechanics. Action A plus ingredient B, result D. Like following a recipe.
Yeah, they think, just tell me the steps. Read the right book. Use the right technique. Like adding salt to get flavor.
But if the subconscious, the chef, in this analogy, fundamentally believes that result D is, I don't know, impossible or maybe even bad for you,
then it sabotages the recipe every single time. The goal fails, not because the steps were wrong, but because the underlying belief system, that possibility filter, wasn't addressed. It was left completely unchanged.
Okay, so overcoming that blockage means understanding this mind architecture, getting that unbroken line of conviction you mentioned.
Yes, we need the three minds working in concert.
Let's define those roles then. Make it clear. The conscious mind first.
That's the CEO, basically. Its job is focus. Choosing the target, directing attention, initiating the whole process. It decides where the ship is heading.
Got it. Then the subconscious mind.
That's the entire factory floor, the executive function. It's this huge warehouse of all your beliefs, habits, memories, everything. And crucially, it's the engine that translates the CEO's target into actual physical reality, day-to-day actions, perceptions.
It's what keeps the ship moving, or maybe keeps it stuck at the dock.
Exactly right. Or stuck. And then, finally, the superconscious mind.
The guide.
The ultimate guide, yes. Call it higher self, intuition, a link to universal wisdom. Whatever term resonates. It's the source of guidance that isn't based on ego or fear. It brings synchronicity, insight, perspective that's way beyond your immediate worries.
So alignment means the CEO conscious mind actually listens to guide the superconscious.
And then clearly programs the factory floor, the subconscious, to make it happen. Execute the plan.
Okay, that makes sense as a model, but how? How do we actually talk to those deeper levels? You can't just shout affirmations at your subconscious while you're, stuck in traffic and stressed out.
You absolutely can't. And this is where the clinical side and the ancient wisdom really lockstep. It's fascinating. The shift needed is neurological.
Neurological, you mean like brain stuff?
Brainwaves, yes. Measured in frequencies, hertz.
Yeah.
And interestingly, the sources consistently point to the body, the soma, as the power plant.
The power plant, meaning?
Meaning you can't just think your way into a trance. You have to generate the right frequency, physically.
Ah, okay. This is why traditions use things like breathwork, chanting, drumming.
Exactly. Rhythmic, focused activities. They calm the fight-or-flight system, the sympathetic nervous system, and rapidly shift the brain's electrical output. It's like opening a door by changing the key frequency, bypassing that logical gatekeeper.
And these frequencies, they tell you which part of the mind you're actually reaching.
Precisely. So right now we're probably mostly in beta, 13 cycles per second, upwards, normal waking consciousness.
The noisy state. Emails pinging, inner critic worrying about the grocery list.
That's it. And in beta, your analytical filter is on high alert. Try to install a new core belief here. Your conscious mind just bats it away. That's silly. That's impossible. The change is blocked, like trying to talk to factory floor during a shareholder meeting.
Right. So you use those power plant techniques, breath, rhythm.
And you relax down into alpha, 8 to 13 cycles per second. This feels like maybe deep relaxation, light meditation, daydreaming.
Okay, the gateway state.
The gateway, yes. The critical barrier, the bouncer at the club, has stepped outside for a moment. You can plant simpler suggestions here, set conditions, but it's not deep enough for really fundamental reprogramming.
So where do we need to get for that?
The gold standard is theta, 4 to 8 cycles per second, deep trance. That state just before sleep or in really deep meditation, the hypnagogic state.
In here.
Here, the critical mind is basically offline, suspended. The subconscious is wide open, fully receptive.
Yeah.
It's not analyzing, it's just taking input. This is what the sources call the state of action, the optimal frequency for delivering very precise, very sensory-rich, emotionally charged commands.
Okay, theta is the programming zone. Is there anything else?
There's also gamma, 40 cycles per second and up. This is associated more with the superconscious current.
Like peak experiences.
Peak experiences, intense focus, moments of profound insight, that sudden click, that aha moment where everything becomes clear. It's seen as the signature frequency of, well, the divine mind or universal intelligence.
So understanding these states gives you a kind of neurological roadmap for the whole process.
Exactly. You learn to use your body, your breath, maybe sound, to shift gears consciously, down from noisy beta through the alpha gateway into theta for programming, maybe even touching gamma for guidance.
Okay, but hang on. This is where it gets really interesting, I think, because you hear stories, right? People successfully use these techniques. They reach theta. They program their subconscious.
They manifest exactly what they consciously aimed for.
Only to find out that getting that thing completely messes up their life.
Yes, this is probably the most common failure point for people who actually get the mechanics right. And it happens for one crucial reason.
Which is?
They failed to consult the superconscious first. They didn't get the wisdom before they programmed the execution.
Because the subconscious, it just does what it's told. It's not actually wise.
It's an incredibly powerful executor, yes. But wise? Absolutely not. It will run any program you give it with full force, even if that program is, say, manifesting a specific relationship that turns out to be incredibly toxic or achieving a career goal that leaves you miserable. It doesn't judge based on highest good. It just executes the command.
Okay, that's a critical distinction. So practically then, how do you tell the difference? When you're in that focused state, how do you know if the guidance you're getting is just subconscious noise or genuine superconscious wisdom? That feels like a major hurdle.
It is the hurdle for many. The key is distinguishing the feeling, the quality of the guidance. Guidance rooted in the subconscious is what we can call ego-based.
Ego-based meaning?
It feels anxious, urgent, often very specific and prescriptive. It's tied to fear, usually. It insists on one particular outcome. Like the internal command feels like, I must manifest exactly $50,000 by next Friday to solve this debt, or disaster strikes.
That desperation. The tight focus on one specific urgent fix. That's the giveaway.
That's the big red flag. It signals that the programming is coming from a place of fear, of lack, not expansive wisdom.
Okay. So what does the other kind feel like? The superconscious guidance.
That's wisdom-based. It feels completely different. Calm, clear, expansive. There's a sense of detachment almost. It feels unitive, like it connects to something bigger.
So less specific, maybe.
Often, yes. It offers intuition, novel solutions you hadn't considered, perspectives that lift you out of the immediate problem rather than just fixing it narrowly. The guidance might sound more like, focus on aligning your actions with service and integrity, and trust that the right resources will flow naturally.
Yeah.
It doesn't fixate on the exact dollar amount or the deadline.
Right, so the practical test is really about checking in with your own feeling state. If the guidance makes you feel panicked, desperate, more attacked
That's probably
by,
subconscious fear programming, ego-based chatter.
but if it feels calm, expansive, maybe even a little detached from the specific how, like you're open to the best outcome, not just the one you think you need.
That's the signature of superconscious wisdom.
Yeah.
Trust that feeling.
And this idea, the structure,
Yeah.
it's not new, is it?
Not at all. Ancient systems recognize this. Hawaiian Huna, for instance, explicitly defined these three selves: the Ku, subconscious, the Lono, conscious, and the Omakua, superconscious higher self. And their whole practice was about aligning them, making sure the lower self, the executor, was taking direction from the higher self, the guide.
So the optimal strategy seems to be a two-step dance.
It is. First, access the superconscious for direction. This is more of a receptive, passive state, the mode of being, asking, listening, receiving wisdom.
And then,
Only then do you shift into programming the subconscious for execution. This is the directive, commanding state, the mode of doing, giving clear, precise instructions based on the wisdom received.
that really clarifies the process. It's not just about blindly forcing a desire onto the subconscious. It's about informed programming.
Precisely. We're managing the flow of information within our own mental system. So when you look at modern practitioners,
Like a chaos magician using a sigil, that symbol designed to be a direct command.
right, or a ceremonial magician doing a complex invocation, different tools, different aesthetics, but they're running the same internal software. Enter trance, usually theta, maybe touching gamma, access guidance or confirm intent, program the execution, and then this is important, release it, let go.
Okay, but one question remains then. If the tools, the robes, incense, chanting sigils, are kind of optional amplifiers, why are they so persistent? Why do they seem to work so well for so many people across cultures and time?
Because they create what you could call full immersion suggestion. They're powerful amplifiers precisely because they engage multiple senses simultaneously.
How so?
Well, think about it. If you just sit quietly and state an affirmation, you're mostly engaging your conscious mind and maybe your hearing, but light incense.
Yeah.
Now you've engaged smell, which has a super deep primal link to memory and emotion in the brain. Chant rhythmically. Now you're engaging the body's kinesthetic sense, hearing, maybe even breath regulation. Wear specific robes or use certain objects. You're engaging touch, sight, maybe even a sense of identity associated with the ritual persona.
So the rich sensory environment of a ritual basically bypasses the conscious analytical mind by giving it too much coherent symbolic input to process critically.
Exactly. It overwhelms the critical factor with suggestion, making it much, much easier for the subconscious to just accept the intended programming without arguing about it.
So the tools aren't magic in themselves, but they make accessing the internal magic much easier.
Perfectly put. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, the core takeaway is this alignment. Conscious choice directing subconscious power, guided by superconscious wisdom. That's the absolute key to transformation. The specific costume you wear, hypnosis, magic, manifestation techniques, doesn't change the underlying engine.
It's really empowering, isn't it, to realize the power isn't inherently in the external object or ritual, but it's always been inside the structure of your own mind.
It is. Which, this raises an important question for everyone listening.
Go on.
If it's true that your subconscious beliefs are right now, this very moment, filtering and actively shaping your external reality to confirm what that subconscious already thinks is true.
Beliefs may be picked up from childhood or culture or just fear.
Right. If that's the case, are you going to just let that old, outdated programming keep running the show by default, keep creating the same reality loops? Or are you ready now to step up and take conscious control of this incredibly powerful reality-shaping machine that you possess?
It really boils down to which internal voice gets the final say, doesn't it? The anxious, demanding voice of the subconscious driven by past fears, or that quieter, calmer, more expansive guidance from the superconscious, the wisdom.
The machine is always running. It's just waiting for a conscious operator.
That is definitely a deep thought to sit with. And I think that's all the time we have for this deep dive.
Indeed. Until next time.
Until next time.